alokui sefea nalan, tarawan, yufu, bandrusu.
Welcome to Divine Guidance with Patricia. You know, getting ready for the show today, I continuously feel this surge of humbleness for this platform and for the ability to share my being with all of you. So once again, thank you so much for allowing me, Creator, to have this platform, and Dr. Pat and all the beautiful beings at Transformation Talk Radio. It is a blessing to be a part of all of you. So today is the 2222 portal. Wow, that sounds like a lot of twos. So, you know, it says that it's a time of extreme shifts. Tonight, February 2nd, 2022, is a time of extreme cosmic energy, no doubt, which will intensify towards February 22nd. So we've got 20 days, another two in the midst of all of that. So this is going to expand up until the 22nd. And this energy can bring whole new realities. Woohoo! Mindsets and miracles. Bring it on, Creator. Bring it on. Jupiter and our moon will also be in conjunction in 22 hours. Another 2-2. Wow. Bringing blessings and miracles happening in our life. Instant shifts in mindsets and new realizations. Good news. Dreams coming true and achieving our goals. Wealth on all levels. Real love and the right person coming our way. I have that. I'm so blessed. Breakthroughs in our career. Achieving our financial goals. Well, the financial goal that I have is that everyone has their needs met. Let's get this going. And so we have clearing all negative vibes. Feeling instant relief, like knowing that everything will be okay soon and the best is yet to come. Wow, that's amazing. I shut this phone off. Just wanted to give you that message today. My guest today, God Lover, wasn't able to come. So we postponed her for April, first Wednesday in April. So that's going to be great. So today's show is about compulsion of the soul. Before we get to that, I'm sure a lot of people are aware there's been a beautiful movement transpiring, especially across Canada. And now it's taken off in every other country, Australia and England, US, and everyone's getting on board. And it started out as a convoy for freedom. And I've been following it quite a bit, actually. It definitely has sparked a lot of hope across this country in seeing, the real live videos, not the mainstream news, the real live videos of all the hundreds of people at -22, -30, standing up on the overpasses beside the highways with the Canadian flags flying, and the joy and the expression of appreciation and validation and hope, and watching the little ones be excited. And this convoy for freedom, I don't really get into politics on my show, and I'm really not going to, because I don't think that our freedom, our sovereignty, our ability to be beautiful beings that we were intended to be on this planet has anything to do with politics. In my humble opinion, it has to do with us, and it has to do with not allowing hate, ego, and hidden agendas to control our lives. And yet, you know what? I'm not 100% free of all of that, and I don't claim to be. I do the best I can with all that I have to not be controlled in here, not be controlled on the soul level, not be controlled on a mental level, not be controlled on an emotional level. Doing the best you can with what you have. We live in a rural community. We keep to ourselves. And I refer to myself as the lady on the mountain. And it's very hard pressed to get me to go anywhere except for to a gathering or with other beautiful beings to offer prayer or intent or dance. Dance in the energy of love and kindness, compassion and joy, and gratefulness. Gratefulness will always lead you back to your true self. If you're grateful for a picture hanging on your wall, you can't find anything else. Oh, I remember that picture. So now I'm into all these things. And how did I get into all those things? Mentioning a convoy for freedom. Well, think about it. Take just 5 minutes today, whether you agree with the movement or not. Take 5 minutes today to honor your freedom of choice, your freedom of loving, your freedom of adventure, your freedom of living, your freedom of what you eat, your freedom of what you want to wear, your freedom of who you're going to talk to and invite in your life. And your freedoms are so deep. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing what the truckers are doing. Absolutely amazing. They're doing what, many groups have tried, many groups have stood up. But now we have to stand up together. And we have to stand up for our rights and our freedoms. And we have to do it in a peaceful way, in a kind way. We don't need to be indebted to anyone for anything. Forgive our trespasses as I forgive those that trespass against us. So I'm not indebted. I'm not indebted as a sovereign being. I'm not beholden. My body is my body. I mean, you've heard it all. I've heard it all. This has been going on for a very long time. I'm just a little bit over 50. Yeah, getting there. But at the same token, even when I was 5, I could tell the difference. In a foster home that I was going to, I could tell the difference walking through the door, whether I was going to have to, what my adaptation levels were going to be. Am I going to have to be compliant, or am I going to be a little able to be free of bed? Am I going to have to keep my knowledge and wisdom of life and soul and spirit to myself, which most times I did. So this movement that, is visible. I mean, you can't miss a big truck. You can't miss 150,000 big trucks in the city. You can't miss it. At the same token, I pray that no one misses out on the freedom movement, and support anyone and everyone that is supporting liberty, prosperity, justice, kindness, unity, community. These are all nurturing factors of a form. And sadly, community is not the way that I remember when I was little. And even though I went through foster home, I still lived in communities. And the community was where I had a lot of saving grace. Because back then you could speak with strangers. You could, you rode plane on your bicycle and a nice lady would sit and talk to you and give you some guidance. Or you could go do something kind for a neighbor and not, what are you doing here? What do you got? What's on your mind? So I really want to take a minute to say, and thank you, Creator. We've all been praying for divine intervention. I truly believe that this Freedom Convoy is divine intervention. And I myself cannot go travel where they are, but I could definitely set my intent, say my prayers daily, and get involved in any way that I can. So any of you out there, if you need anything, give me a message. Shoot me up a message at connect@divineguidance.earth and say, hey, Trish, what can you do? So I'm here, and little fella's enjoying it, seeing the excitement and the hope. It brings us all some clarity. It is time to be the change. And definitely these Canadian truckers are showing worldwide that they are part of the change. Are you part of the change? Are you going to do something? This is it. This is time. And what a beautiful, beautiful way to do it. So that is my dedication to the Freedom Convoy. We're going to have a lot of things probably to look forward to in the next month. And search for the truth. Don't just take everything at face value. Do your research. Take a look at it. You're going to find lots of people are being blessed, helped, and assisted, and not what you're being told on mainstream media. So with that, I'm going to take my first break, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. Today we're going to be talking about compulsion of the soul. And I asked Jacob, our producer here, do you know what that is? And he goes, no, I'm going to learn from it. And I said, so am I. So I have had the experience of having what Spirit has referred to with me. And you know the labels, I get stuck. I don't really carry labels for. But it was imminent to compulsion of the soul. And this is when I experience this, or I see others experiencing this is what I attribute it to. And so I want to also let you know that this is an open show. So if you have any experiences with compulsion of the soul and you'd like to call in and share them, I'm open. Love to hear from you. So give us a call. For me, the soul does a lot of different things. And so many teachings are out there, like our body encompasses our soul, like our soul is in here somewheres, and that's it. And I think if you watched any of my shows, you know that I kind of have a different knowing. My own knowing doesn't mean I'm the know-it-all, but it's my knowing, and I accept and honor my knowing, and I leave my being and my whole being open to that knowing being enhanced, and correction is direction. So for me, the soul is the beautiful container of all your cellular memory of everything that you've ever been, and that comes underneath your oversoul, and then up. And maybe I should do a show on that sometime, on the different levels of the soul, on the initiations of the soul. But right now we're doing compulsion of the soul, Trish. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We will get back on track. So with that, there are many times in your life where you have people that just do the most unique, unexpected things in your life. And it basically floors you. And those things that I'm talking about are, I'm going to stay on the positive side of compulsion of the soul. I'm going to stay on the side of beautiful divine souls that have love intent, and we're gonna stay on that side of it today. So with that, compulsion of the soul, the experience that I've had probably about 9-10 months ago, I got some of the best news from Spirit that I've ever heard in at least 30 years. Was that the soul now has say. And I think I've mentioned this on my show previously too, but I want to go a little bit deeper into that. That doesn't mean that the soul is in full charge of your whole being now, and you're going to just, listen to the soul and that's it, and have no choice or no freedom. No, that's not how the divine soul operates or works. The divine soul knows exactly what your purpose and intent for being in form or at form, at this time and place, what you came here to achieve. Yes, and a lot of people put that, we're here to learn something, and I choose to go more, and yeah, you're always learning. Remembering is the word I would use. You're always remembering, and you remember through your soul, your memory of all that you are, all that you have been, and what you came to share. So I call that divine purpose and intent. And I've done a show on that. So go back in the archives if you like and take a look at that. So your divine purpose intent is the reason why you came in form at this time, to do something, to bring something, to bring a divinity, to bring a consciousness, to bring a certain vibration, frequency, and energy here. And many people do that consciously or unconsciously. They don't realize how beautiful and divine they are. They really don't. There's some amazing, beautiful people that you meet, and you can just see their soul and their spirit and their being shining. They don't even think that they're connected to spirit or soul. And that's part of the reason why I created this platform, because everyone's spiritual. We all have a spirit. So here we go. When a lot of people refer to things like, I have a gut feeling, my gut feeling, just, I have a gut feeling about this, or, oh my goodness, I don't know where that came from, but wow, I think I need to do this or do that. There's a difference between people who are actually seeking direction, and many of us do. And if you're anyone sharing direction, you're continuously seeking it. I know that I am. I continuously ask the specific instruction for me. Set me into divine action and motion. Sometimes I'm in situations where I have to actually keep Patricia, the personality, out of it a bit, so that I can actually work with spirit in unity. And that doesn't mean turning off who I am. I love every part of my being, the good, bad, the indifferent, because I am me. I have no negative intent at all. But that doesn't mean I don't stumble or make mistakes once in a while. I do. The difference is I look to change that. I look to better that personality as much as I can. With that said, many of us are seeking direction, especially right now with all these changes and transformations. And so we're going into prayer and we're going into meditation. We're doing it however we do it, and we're asking for divine guidance and direction. That's great. So you receive a message from spirit. Well, that's receiving a message from spirit or your soul, or even your own intelligence. So many people are blocking off the intelligence they brought into form as well. You don't just come in as, and that's why you got to learn your ABCs, or your numbers, because you have no idea. No, you have an intelligence brought in that is more of the universal knowledge and realm than it is of this 3D realm. So many times children are way, way, way more advanced with their intelligence. And so teaching them their ABCs, don't misunderstand that, please. Don't misunderstand education versus intelligence. Not even with older people, I guess. So, excuse me, no pun intended there, but there's a lot of people that have a hard time honoring their own intelligence, honoring the fact that we all have differences. We're all intelligent. We bring that intelligence with us. Some people come with many restraints. so that they don't escalate into only the mental plane, and yet they can feel the intelligence when something really, really scientific is being said to them. They go, yeah, I got that. How did I get that? You know, but it's the intelligence that you bring in. So when you receive a message from the soul and you take that divine action, that is not compulsion of the soul, not for me. Compulsion of the soul is when the soul actually has to push through its brilliant, beautiful memory, knowledge, intelligence, and light through a personality. Because we can get here and we can get stuck in our personalities sometimes. And yet we know that it's a personality thing, but our hardest ones is our hardest ones. So one of them would be fear, so let's say somebody knows that they have to do something physically, but they're in fear of it. And so they either procrastinate or they avoid it, or they try to find other ways to get in around it. And that's human. That's human. And so, but there's something very critical happening that will affect the divine purpose and intent. And our souls want us to achieve. Our souls want us to shine our beautiful, beautiful being. So what happens? What transpires? What brings about compulsion of the soul? We'll get into that right after this break. Come on back. And it's open for calls. Thank you. Welcome back to Divine Guidance. My hearing's getting bad, Jacob. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're talking about compulsion of the soul. And I want to skip back to about 9-10 months ago when there was a message. Now, when I say a message, I mean that I got it or somebody close to me got it, and then within 48 hours you see it popping up in other conversations. Other people received it. It's like a massive message going out to people and then coming back. And I usually wait for at least 3 for real strong validation without me discussing it or putting it in somebody else's head or laneway. And so when it's validated on a large scale like that and it comes back, I know that it's a very huge universal message that we all need to pay attention to. So the message was that the soul shall now have say. And I thought, wow, that's great. And at first, I thought, oh man, these souls are going to come through and it's going to be like a universal army, and we're going to get all this love going and everyone's going to know who they are, and it's going to be transformative and translucent and everyone's going to see everyone's light, and oh my gosh. I thought, wow, slow down, Trish, because usually that's what I have to say. Slow down. Let's take a little closer look at it. And all of that is my intent for everyone to see how beautiful they truly are, even if they're showing me ugly anger or hate. I can't allow them to harm my being, but I don't have to retaliate on theirs. I stand in who I am, and I pray that they can see the beauty of their own beings. I can't make anyone do anything. And trust me, nobody can make me do anything either. Those are the 4 myths. I can make you happy. I can make you sad. You can make me happy, or you can make me sad. And it all goes back to choice and intent. And, a lot of people, their intent is a goal. Their intent is a focus of what they want, whether it's an achievement or growth or power over another being. Intent is one of the strongest tools that we have here. And the soul knows our intent. And so that puts me back with this message that the souls shall now have say. And the simplicity of that is, in the spiritual communities, for as long as I can remember, everyone's talked about the veil, the veil that separates the spirit from the physical, from the divine eye opening, from being consciously aware. But then there's a veil that words, English words, French words, Spanish words, it's just words, how to put it into words. Spirit, I love these topics you come up with last minute for me. This actually came up from my husband, because he's been aligned when we've had some beautiful compulsions of the soul. So the intent is who you truly are, what you really wish to send out, give out, experience, remember, bring in. It's always full circle sharing. You're not only here to bring stuff in, you're also here to let things go, which means, like, if you have done shows with you guys before on divinity, what divinity are you bringing in? So the soul has to sometimes get through that veil of humanism. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, if you're hurt and you're keeping those scars as your defense, and you're focusing on that pain or revenge, or if you're focusing so hard on giving all that you are to help the whole world, and you just have to keep going because not everyone's lit up, not everyone's getting it, not everyone's kind. And so it can go in many different extremes. But the thing is, when you get caught up in what you understand or accept or allow to be your truth, and you start doing it in a way that it's a fine line. It's a very fine line what you're doing, and that could possibly lead you to continuously be going in a direction like a hamster in a cage, where you're not going to be successful, positively or negatively. You're just going to keep going in that way. And so, Spirit brings forward a lot of different things to show us the way. Many times, the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the heart to feel it. But now with this new message that souls have say, part of the language of the soul that has been heightened and lifted to expand out and have more capability at this time is the ability for the soul to cut through the personality and have something done to you in a very positive way that just blows your mind. It's like a miracle, or you might call it a miracle. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to get to the chase here. An example is, let's say that you haven't talked to somebody in so many years, and you know you've done something, but not to that extent, but because that person's pain, they have grown their pain past the experience that you shared. And that has been their way of dealing with it. And so out of the blue, this person will contact you and say, hey, I've kind of been thinking, I forgive you. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I really just felt pushed to call you and let you know that. Still think you're unique. I don't like what you did. But I just wanted this part to be started. Wow. Unexpected. Wow. And so that small little bit of compulsion from the soul, what has that actually done? What has that done? Well, you can look at it that what it's done is brought some sort of communication together, without hate. It's brought forward the ability for that person to breathe in the midst of all that pain and that hurt. And it's actually, if they were feeling like a victim in some way, that's kind of given them a small part of their own self-worth, their own right, wrong, or indifferent. There's no judgment here on what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, whatever the situation is, that person now is feeling less as a victim, more empowered, that they reach to that extent. And they feel empowered that they haven't forgiven you. They didn't go to you and say, oh, let's fix this whole thing. They just came, they made that one little burst of compulsion. And it's like one little firecracker, boom, and you see several of those sparkling lights. So with compulsion of the soul, when something like that happens, it's something that you can't dismiss. If that person is contacted you, can't dismiss that. It's automatically go, whoa. And for that period of time that compulsion of the soul happened, it's transmitted deeply into your being. It's like that part of that heart that was shut down, maybe because you felt you'd never ever get past it, you'd never be able to fix it, you'd never be able to communicate. That part that you're carrying inside within your own being, boom, soul light. And I call it soul light. I guess I just called it soul light. Soul light because it comes from compulsion of the soul of another. And it really doesn't just stay on the surface. It hits your soul. It hits that resonating part. Now, let's say, who knows, maybe you consciously don't know. And we'll get into this in a few minutes because we're about to take a break. So I'll finish with this part of it and we'll get into it a little deeper after this break. So the compulsion of the soul has done things like a firecracker and all the lights have come on. Well, firecrackers don't last forever, right? They really don't. They're beautiful and they last for a few minutes, and you can't not see. Sometimes you can't not hear. Ask my dog, a firecracker. You can see it. It's obvious. It's there. It's obviously there. Can't be denounced, can't be undone. So during the time that firecracker is lit up, what happens is that soul, compulsion from that soul to another being, has then broken through the veil within your own being. Because maybe your personality was blocking it as well. For whatever reason. Maybe you're hurt, maybe you're nervous, maybe you're in self-blame. Maybe you are to blame. Who knows? Like I said, no judgment. But that soul light has hit through the veil that was separating any type of passing initiation on it or integrating with unity and communication. And sometimes in a lifetime, that may be all that you get from that being. But you got it. You got that part. And that's what's soul light. I like that. I'm going to have to do some writing after this and put it down in a little bit of more context. But then let's take a look. Let's take a look at, so compulsion of the soul is not when your soul assists you in memory, and how to take the right action and what choices to make. This compulsion of the soul is a spark, a soul light that has a profound, life-changing, very quick process for beings. And one could relate it to hope, but without putting any labels on it, without putting it into a category or a box, or what is it exactly? Because depending on the experience, depending on the compulsion, depending on what that soul broke through the veil to do of that personality, there's so many attributes we could put it to. I'm not one to just, there's so many diversities, and that's probably going to be a t-shirt when I'm older. So many levels, so many diversities, and not everyone is stagnant to one diversity of it. So with that said, compulsion of the soul, have you ever had it? Have you had it in your life? Give me a call. I'd sure love to hear about it. There's many other examples, and I'll try to give another one after the break. And we're going to go a little bit deeper on the deepness of soul light. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Thanks. Hey, welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. I'm a little bit out of sync with my cues, but I'm getting there. If you notice, I'm really focused on, I've got an angel on this shoulder, I've got beautiful hand on this shoulder, and of course I've got Smudge and Turtle on that direction. So I'm trying to keep the energy balanced because it's a very, very high energy day. It's exciting. So I want to go and explore this after the show. Like, wow, how can I increase my intent for all these magical energies of the universe, and for all of us. And you don't need my prayers, and I don't need your prayers, but boy, isn't it great when you feel that energy of somebody who actually took a moment to think of you, to put you in their thoughts, to be a part of your day. So compulsion of the soul, and I'm going to be doing a workshop on this summer, so possibly why the spirit had me bring it up as a topic, because I'm going to go a little deeper with compulsion of the soul, how the soul has memory, how to bring that memory forward, how to break the veil of communication with your soul, how to break the veil between your knowing, your intelligence, and your physical mind, all those things. It's time to come together. My slogan is solutions for the whole being. And it's really, really exciting that, with sovereignty also comes your sovereign being, with you and the creator, the oneness of all that is, the universe, the sovereignty of knowing that you are divine and that you are here for a purpose. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a hard labor purpose. The journey that you take doesn't define your purpose and intent, believe it or not. The journey that you take is how many times you've actually shared your purpose and intent along that journey. Yeah, I'm off on another topic, aren't I? Okay. So that's me today. The energies are really awesome. And compulsion of the soul. I truly hope I truly hope that it happens to me again. I truly hope that it happens to everybody listening today. Or you can sit back and remember, like, whoa, that blew my mind, and then it was done. There was no extra transference. There was no, and maybe take a deeper look. And that's what the workshop's going to be this summer. Taking a look at how divine compulsion of the soul light. I like that. I'm going to wrap that in. How that has actually affected your life in a deeper way than what you may have realized at the time. Yeah, I'm going to take a deeper look at it too. Thank you, Spirit. That's awesome. So I have some new things coming up. I have some things that I'm working on with divine guidance with Patricia here on the network. Jacob, my wonderful producer, and I are in the midst of starting to put together a 3-part documentary with beautiful beings out of Australia, Evan and Stephen Strong, who've been doing the, for them it's summer solstice, for us it's winter solstice, at Uluru and the elders, and a lot of other things involved in that. Alien information, connection between 2 major prophecies, what signs have been given, that at what stage in the prophecies are we, how do they mix together, so many things. And that's going to be a 3-part documentary, and it's going to be, the first one's going to be aired March 2nd, third one June 15th, which is a week from the summer solstice here, winter solstice there. And then January 4th, I believe, is the 3rd part of the documentary. So don't miss that. That's great. That's going to be awesome. I have Zala back. Not exactly sure when he's coming in, probably in April. I have Michelle Phillips with her book, Been There, Done That, wrote the book on self-healing. Beautiful being with such strength of and conviction and understanding to really share information on how to take self-healing into your life. I have Brian Duga from Atlantic Treasures. I think I'm going to do that show on site with him, showing his beautiful store, and maybe an example of his crystal singing bowl sound bath, and join them for a meditation with that, and recording that for the show. So many things. I'm going to bring my husband on, and we're going to do a show finally about who we are, what we do, how we met. I'd like to start doing a little bit of my So What Now sharing, which is So What Now sessions, have some call-ins to be able to share on the soul level with the people calling in, some direction and some messages. Yeah, I'm gonna step up and do some of that live. So yeah, that's new for me. But yeah, it's incredible what transpires, and not me. Part of my intelligence, yes, that I brought in, but mostly divine guidance and spirit and soul, and the person that I'm communicating with, their soul, what their soul wants them to know without judgment from my being. I'd like to do a few more this summer. I'd like to do on location shows here in beautiful property that we have, and some other organizations that I'm involved with are coming up with some really good gatherings this year. And so I'd like to actually have permission from them to record some of it and put it on here. It's a busy year. It's a year of divine action. It's a year of pure light. Anything that's not resolved, anything that you have to pass initiations on, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. Be careful what you wish for, because it's going to be there. So I absolutely love sharing I would like to have a lot more people calling in. So we'll open it up more often and have some call-in shows. I know you weren't quite prepared for it today. And with all of this, be kind to yourself and be kind to everyone else, the best that you can. If kindness is not talking at the moment, okay. Before you let hate reign your day, put your umbrella of love up and around this whole world. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon. Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on solutions for the whole being.